What's going on, guys? Back again today to talk about something that I've been thinking about making a video for quite some time. This is going to be another bit of a rant video where I kind of like talk shit on a certain aspect of nerd culture, specifically superhero nerd culture, that like over the past, I want to say, year has really just kind of like I find myself thinking about it more and more whenever I read comics or watch a superhero show or movie. I just it keeps popping into my head, and that's the issue of superhero costumes. Now, some superheroes costumes, they work. They are timeless. Others, they worked well when they were invented and thought up, but since then they have not aged well. And then there's others that arguably did the opposite. They got better with time, or like the costume was tweaked and changed because the people at Marvel, DC, Image, whatever company it was, recognized that the costume needed to be changed. But the examples of that, the last one happening, are few and far between. It seems like more so with DC, but there are examples of it in Marvel as well. The superhero comic book industry will stick with an old timey, outdated design simply because there's like a legacy to it. Like it's been around for so long, all right? We can't kill it. It's a staple of the character. We can't get rid of it. Okay, well, let's dive into this, all right? So first things first, where do these not so great costume designs come from? They come from back during a time period where the creators of the costumes at the comic book companies looked to things like professional wrestlers and circus strongmen. And they were all wearing tight fitting clothes that usually had some kind of trunks or like exterior underwear kind of garment that accentuated and highlighted the pelvic region. There was typically a different color than what the main bodysuit was. And the reason that these comic book creators, these illustrators, took inspiration from those is because most superheroes at the time were men. They were marketing them to little boys, and they said, let's take the designs from something that is viewed as powerful and strong and tough and masculine, and circus strongmen and professional wrestlers. All right, but it's some old timey shit, and it has not aged well. Okay, in the modern era, in 2024, we got to just stop lying to ourselves and admit that there's a few problems with a lot of this shit. Okay, so let's kind of break it down. First things first, there needs to be a reason that this character is donning a specific outfit to go do their heroic hero shenanigans, crime fighting shenanigans. It's not always fighting crime. Sometimes it's like saving people from a burning building, but you know what I mean. Why are they putting on a specific outfit to go do this shit, right? So there's a couple reasons that are valid to hide the identity, right? They want to hide their real identity so that when they're not doing their heroic shenanigans, they can live a normal life and it protects their loved ones. No one's going to come after their loved ones to try and get to them because they don't know who the hell they really are. This is the case of like Spider-Man and Batman. Batman also did it because he wanted to strike fear and be an urban legend, but that's beside the point. Another good, valid reason in a comic for a character to be wearing a specific outfit for doing hero shit is if they need it for protection. If the character is a normal human and they do not possess any super abilities, superpowers that give them extra protection or defense, then they need to be wearing fucking body armor. It's 2024. Your target market for comics should be 16-year-olds and up, and every single 16-year-old out there knows that bullets do damage to human bodies. All right? So, if you have a normal human character who does not have unbreakable skin, superhuman durability, invulnerability, if the bullet doesn't hit their body and go ting and bounce off just because of their superpower or something, then that fucker needs to be in body armor. It's 2024. We just got to accept this. The days of wearing spandex and pajamas are over. It's done. In the 19 fucking 40s, 50s, 60s, when the fuck was Kevlar even invented? You know what I mean? The concept of body armor. We're talking about characters that were invented back in a time period when people went off to war just wearing like a button-down shirt. All right? Since then, helmets, shoulder pads, armor and shit has been made up that's like it's meant to counter firearms. It exists. And even if the exact armor that you're talking about that you put on your characters doesn't actually exist, you know what? That's where, as fans of fiction, that's where we're willing to suspend the disbelief. We're not willing to suspend disbelief and go so far as to be like, man, this normal ass human who can totally be killed by bullets just happens to never get hit. No, that's too much. That's too much. We're not just suspending our disbelief that far. But if you want to be like, oh, it's some cutting edge black market body armor that's like it's not mass produced, it's not been integrated into militaries yet. It's some cutting edge shit. Cool. Awesome. I got it. Because you know why? Because a part of me kind of believes there's that shit out there in the real fucking world. That's why. Like in John Wick, the second one, he goes and gets a new suit made, and the dude shows him he's like cutting edge body armor. It's this very pliable, very thin, pliable, lightweight, ballistic armor that they can sew between the lining of the suit. And he tells him, he's like, absolutely zero penetration. The bullet will not go into your body, but quite painful. Like, yeah, there's a give and take. There's a catch, but it's still something, right? You need that. You need some kind of, if they do not have a power that prevents them from taking damage to their human body, they need to be in body armor, right? Now, there are a few exceptions to this where the power, but it still comes down to superpowers. Like the power that they have does not exactly give them extra defense or durability, but it just makes it very, very, very hard for them to be hurt. For example, Spider-Man. Between his superhuman agility, superhuman enhanced reflexes, and his spider sense, it is very hard to shoot Spider-Man. It's very hard to surprise Spider-Man and sucker punch Spider-Man. All right? It's very hard to hit Spider-Man. Spider-Man has been able to go toe to toe with the Hulk simply because the Hulk could not get a hold of him. He was too fucking quick. Right? So Spider-Man is an example. Like if Spider-Man did get shot in the fucking forehead, right to the dome, Spider-Man would die. Peter Parker would die instantly. It's just very, very hard to hit him. Daredevil has also got something similar going on with his radar sense. I just don't know how well I believe it. That's the thing. It's like the extent to which I'm willing to suspend my disbelief. Like I'm leaning more on the yes, I'm willing to suspend my disbelief, but here's the thing about Daredevil. Yes, his senses are good enough to where like it's very hard to get the drop on him and surprise him. But Daredevil is wearing essentially spandex and he's getting into fistfights where he clearly gets punched in the head, hit in the head with bats and chairs, kicked in the gut. Like this dude's body would be in shambles after, a few years of this if he's not wearing body armor. I'm not saying like I can't suspend disbelief to be like, okay, it's very hard to sneak up and surprise this guy. But if he's squaring up with a dude, which he does quite often, and they're trading blows, and yeah, Daredevil's dishing out the pain, but he's taking some as well. Like he has a normal human body that shit would wear on a guy. So I don't know. Daredevil's one of those where like I'm kind of on the fence about it, but I lean a little bit more towards he should be wearing body armor. All right. So another reason why a character should be putting on a specific outfit to do their heroic shenanigans is if the outfit is connected to their power set. Examples of this would be like Iron Man, Blue Beetle, Green Lantern, or even Spawn. Iron Man. His costume is his powers. It's what enables him to do his heroic shit. So that's fine. Same thing kind of with Blue Beetle. The alien scarab creates this like exosuit shit on him. The modern Blue Beetle, not the classic one that's lame as fuck. The modern Blue Beetle, the one that just recently got a movie, live action movie. The alien scarab creates an alien exoskeleton suit of armor that very similar to Iron Man's, except it's alien tech instead of he made it himself. And that's the source of his powers. And it's those powers from that suit, that outfit, that allows him to do heroic shit to begin with. So that's valid. Green Lantern, the ring creates the uniform. Fine. While we're on the subject of that, though, the little fucking plastic eye thing that just sticks on somehow, like, what's that for? On any character that has it. We're going to touch more on that in a minute. And then Spawn or Venom. Spawn and Venom are kind of like the same, right? Spawn's suit is supposed to be a demon, a living demon that's bonded to him, whereas Venom is a symbiote. They're both created by Todd McFarlane, so it kind of makes sense. But yeah, it's where the powers come from. You know what I mean? So yeah. What are some other good reasons why the costume should exist? There's a number of cases where the costume isn't really a costume. That is just like normal clothing to them. Like Thor. Thor doesn't think of himself as putting on a superhero costume to go fight crime and save people. Thor's just wearing normal Asgardian garb. Like in certain cases you would say even Asgardian armor. But then again, it's kind of like, are they not always kind of wearing armor? I don't know. But that's just like Thor could be walking around on Asgard in his superhero costume, and everyone would be like, that's just normal clothes, right? Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's Amazonian like armor outfit should also be relatively similar to this. Wonder Woman's is a little on the colorful side for that, I think, but it's kind of in the same lane. Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is like robes and cloaks and shit. Like that's just sorcerer garb from Kamar-Taj. Like that's just what they wear. Now I get it. He's also like can put on a suit and whatnot. And Doctor Strange also has magic, which helps out with another thing that I'm going to talk about here in a second. So yeah, there needs to be a valid reason why this character has to put on a special outfit to go do their heroic shenanigans, right? Why do they have to put on this special outfit to go do it? There needs to be a valid reason, and basically the ones that I just said are really the only real valid reasons. Hiding or any combination of them. You know what I mean? Hide your identity, protection. It's the source of your powers, or it's just kind of normal clothes for you. It's not really a costume at all. Those are the ones. If it's not one of those, I don't know why the fuck this person is taking time to like, let me get on my special hero outfit to go do my stuff. Like, what are you doing? All right. Now let's talk about. I just want to throw this in there. I have to. Guys, the trunks, right? No one in the year 2024, hell, we could go all the way back to like 2010. No one would be designing their superhero costume that they're going to go fight crime and save people in with underwear on the outside in the 21st century. No one. So if no one, like ask yourself, if you woke up tomorrow and you had all the powers of Superman and you decided I'm going to basically go be Superman and I'm going to save people and fight crime, would you even design a special outfit to wear while you do it? And then two, if you did, be honest with yourself, would you include underwear on the outside in 2024? Would you? I don't think you would. I don't think any of us would. But for some reason we hold on to it and we just won't fucking let it go. It's old, it's outdated. Fuck it. It hasn't aged well. It doesn't work. The only sense you could possibly make of it is basically with the character Superman. If you were going to try and say Superman, Ma and Pa Kent designed the costume and made it for him, out of like Kryptonian blankets and cloths that he was wrapped in as a baby. And they designed it based on what they knew from other superhero costumes from when they were kids, which would have been back in the time of like the 40s, 50s, which would have been the JSA, which would have been the old timey shit when they're wearing the fucking underwear on the outside of their pants. And Superman, being such a Boy Scout Kansas cornball who loves his mammy and his pappy, would have just taken that outfit and been like, "Thanks, mom. Thanks, dad. I'll wear it." And he would have just, he might have even thought it was cool, you know? Because it's supposed to be like, to some degree, other than like Lana Lang, Clark didn't really have any friends growing up. Ma and Pa Kent were his friends. So like most of the time he's hanging out with Jonathan Kent. And guess what Jonathan Kent, if Jonathan Kent ever did show him like, tell him about the Justice Society, it's like back in the day, we like Clark, yeah, you have crazy powers, but like the world's seen that before. Back during like the World War II and shit, we had the JSA. Those were costumed superhero type characters that were running around back then, and he would have shown him pictures of them and stuff. So Clark being presented by an outfit made in an old-timey fashion by his old-timey parents in the old-timey style of the heroes that he grew up learning about with his dad, it kind of makes sense. But that's the only way in which it makes sense. Any other way, it doesn't. If you try to say that wearing underwear on the outside of your pants is just, oh, that's just that's Kryptonian style on an alien planet. No, that's just dumb shit. It's dumb old shit that you just don't want to admit is old and dumb because you feel like it's there's so much legacy to it, and those creators, what they did, they caught lightning in a bottle with this character, and he's endured for 80 years, and now all of a sudden 80 years ago we're going to basically look back at those creators and say, fuck you, you did it wrong. In this part we are. It's not that they did it wrong, it worked for the time, but it doesn't anymore. Let's just let it go. All right, putting underwear on the outside of your costume is dumb. It's just fucking dumb, guys. Come on. You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do it for your own superhero costume in this day and age. You wouldn't do it, and you know you wouldn't. So, that's dumb. That has to go away. Another thing, we're basically into my list of like shit that I think needs to go away. I talked about you need to have a valid reason why they wear it. Now we're going into like, okay, you've come up with the valid reason of why they're wearing it here, but still, here's some shit to not include. So the underwear on the outside. Other thing is, I mentioned a minute ago when we were talking about Green Lantern, the simple little fucking mask, right, that goes across the eyes. I have examples here actually that I had kind of pulled up ready to go. Let's find some. So there's Spawn. There we go. So Green Lantern, this little mask, and there's a lot of characters that wear a little mask like this. What is this for? It offers 0 protection, and maybe 5 to 10-year-olds back in the corny 40s and 50s and even 60s were buying that this could hide someone's identity, but 16-year-olds and up in 2024 are not buying that this hides anyone's identity. So it's 0 protection, doesn't hide your identity, is not the source of your powers. There's no reason for it. You can't, like I said a minute ago, valid reasons. You cannot come up with a valid reason for this dumb little mask. Like, fuck off. Also, he's a member of an intergalactic police force. Why the fuck does he need to hide his identity? Why? He reports to a higher authority than anyone on Earth. You know what I mean? Like, why would he need to hide his identity from Earth? Like, what's Earth going to be like? Oh, surrender, Green Lantern. We want to know everything about the intergalactic shit. He could be like, I don't report to you. I report to the Guardians of the Universe. Fuck off, Earth. And all Earth authorities. Like, what does he need? It doesn't hide his identity. It doesn't offer protection. It doesn't do anything. It's just dumb. Let's stop doing it. All right, the next thing that has to kind of go away. This is not so much in the costume itself, but it's about the costume. The quick change, okay? If you're going to have a character, a superhero character, do a quick change into their hero outfit. There has to be there needs to be a valid explanation as to how they perform the quick change, because this bullshit that like, oh, Daredevil just ran down an alley and stripped off his costume, stripped off his normal people clothes, and changed into Daredevil, lickety split. Like no. And also doing shit like that, that shit would get you caught. Sooner or later, that shit would get you caught. It just would. All right? It's dumb. It's the like once again, it's the kind of thing that like back in the day they didn't take it into consideration because the target audience for comic books was never going to take it into consideration. 5 to 10 year olds, little dumbass little children, were never going to think that hard about this shit, right? So the creators didn't feel like they needed to. But they're little tiny children are no longer your target market for comics. 16-year-olds and up are your target market for comics. And 16-year-olds and up are going to think about this kind of shit. So if it would seem dumb to someone 16 years of age or older, don't do it anymore. And a character just pulling off a quick, like changing their outfit real quick, like there's the speed aspect of it, like wow, that was way too fast to have changed into that outfit. And then there's also the whole like you'd get caught eventually, like in the mid change, right? You would get caught. So they need to have a, if they're going to do a quick change, they need to have a sci-fi or fantasy slash magic way of performing the quick change. Shazam, he yells Shazam, boom, he's in the outfit. Wonder Woman, uh, back in the day, she is magic mythology kind of fantasy based, so you could have her change magically with magic. Okay. Iron Man has the nanotech, or as we saw in like the Iron Man 2 movie, he carried around that like suitcase, briefcase, and that allowed him to don a suit very quick. Green Lantern can generate his Green Lantern Corps uniform with the ring. The Flash has super speed, so he could be like to his apartment and back like that, lickety split. He could also he could also perform the change just so fast that you might not, like, to the naked human eye it might not even register, you know. And then everyone else, they don't get to do a quick change, you know what I mean? It's like let's look at Batman for example. Batman has to don, when Batman's done right, if Batman's going out in like spandex or pajamas, that's stupid, that's dumb, that's lame, that should be abandoned completely and never done again. Batman wears body armor. He has to, or he will die. It's just a fact. Let's all just make our peace with it. So, Batman has to don this suit of body armor that includes a cape and a cowl and everything else. And then he has to put on his utility belt and gear up with all his batarangs and equipment and shit. It takes time. This is why Batman is not a rapid response hero. Batman is a crime fighter and an investigator. Batman fights when he has to, but that's not his ultimate goal. Batman doesn't go out at night like I'm gonna go just whoop some fucking ass. Like he has a goal. I'm investigating this case. I'm checking up on that. Like let's say there's a bank robbery. 2 p.m. in Gotham City, there's a bank robbery. Bruce Wayne is not rushing down to the Batcave and like fucking pulling on his boots in a hurry so that he can hightail it down the road in the Batmobile to try and stop this bank robbery at 2 p.m. He's not doing it. Honestly, at 2 p.m. during the day, he's probably fucking asleep. I would bet there's a strong chance of that. Batman, Bruce Wayne, he wakes up like 3 4 p.m., does whatever he does, prepares for nightly Batman patrol, and then he puts the fucking gear on, gets in the Batmobile, heads out, meets up with Commissioner Gordon. Yo, Commish, what went down today while I was like, you know, not on duty essentially? And Commissioner Gordon tells him, "Oh, the First National Bank of Gotham got hit pretty hard." And he goes, "Here's all the surveillance footage. Here's fingerprints we took." And then Batman goes, "Cool, I'll get right on it," and gets on the investigation. But he's not a rapid response hero, so he doesn't do quick changes and shit like that. That's how everyone needs to be if they don't have one of those other reasons I mentioned, all right? If they don't have a sci-fi fantasy magic way of putting the suit on quickly, you know, nanotech, the Green Lantern ring, Shazam's way of doing, if you don't have something like that, then you can't do a quick change. You don't get to, and if you can't do a quick change, then you're not a rapid response hero. You go out and do your hero shit of your own accord. Right? Now, I get it. If there's some kind of like intergalactic alien invasion of your planet, you know, Bruce, even though it's broad daylight, Bruce is probably still going to get up and put his shit on and go out there. And he's probably going to do it as fast as he can. But it's not this It's not like Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man be walking down the streets of New York and like police cars would drive by him chasing a vehicle that just committed armed robbery. Spider-Man will dip down an alley and be like change, and like 2 seconds later come flying out of there web swinging to go catch up to him. Now Spider-Man has enhanced agility. Spider-Man can crawl up walls. He has a you could make the argument that he has a way to pull off the change quickly and secretively without getting caught. Maybe. I still kind of think it's a little iffy on that one, you know. But maybe he could do it. Maybe he could pull it off. I don't know. But that's my opinion on like the quick change thing. So essentially what I'm getting at here is like no more costumes just for the sake of costumes. All right? It doesn't work in the 21st century. There needs to be a reason for it. Like there needs to be a reason for it, and then once you have the reason, like don't go nuts with a whole lot of like creative aesthetic design, because think practically. Like think about it from a practical perspective. All right? Even Batman, like if you think about like Batman, does his costume, his the bat suit, does it have like an aesthetic kind of creative look to it? Yes, it's bat themed. There's a bat motif going on here. But is that just because Bruce Wayne's like, I like bats, it's my spirit animal? No, it's because Bruce Wayne's like, bats scare me. I kind of think they're scary. I'm going to use that to instill fear in other. There's still a practical reason behind why he put the ears and the K. There's a practical reason to it, right? It's not just like, I like bats, because that would be fucking dumb. All right, Green Arrow. Green Arrow is another one of those characters like when he's drawn with wearing some like body armor, it's fine. I think he needs headgear because it's like your head's exposed. You're gonna be getting concussed and shit left and right. At least the hood is better than that stupid fucking Peter Pan hat he used to wear. And he would literally go out in a leather vest, a Peter Pan hat, and a bow and arrow, and never get shot, never get heavily concussed, never have his skull cracked open and heavy brain damage. Why? Because the stories back then were being marketed to children, and stupid ass little children aren't going to think of this shit. That's not the case anymore. You're dealing with teenagers 16 and up. In the Flash TV show, they started out good. Like they argued why he needed a suit. He like at when he's traveling at the speeds he's traveling, he's generating so much friction that he needs fire resistant material. All right, friction resistant, fire resistant material, because his normal clothes, particularly his shoes, are going to burn up. And that made sense. They later on pretty much just kind of like abandoned that and pretended they never said it. But at least at first they made the explanation attempt. I already talked about Thor. That's normal Asgardian clothing, right? Or armor, however you want to look at it. It's not to him. It's not a costume. It's not like, hold on, I gotta do hero shit. Let me put on my outfit. Like it's not like that. Hulk just like loses his clothes. It's just whatever Bruce Banner was wearing at the time. For some reason, it's 9 times out of 10 it's purple pants. I don't know why this dude likes purple pants, but like maybe I'm just going out on a limb here. Maybe it had something to do with the fact that like some illustrators and editors at the comic book company thought that the purple contrasted the green nicely. I don't know. That's just a guess. I'm probably wrong about that, because I mean everyone wears purple fucking pants all the time, right? Yes. Every physicist like genius that wears purple pants all the time, right? Yeah, exactly. Doctor Strange, we talked about. This isn't necessarily a costume to him. This is like normal wizard garb that they wear in Kamar-Taj. And even if it's not, and he was going to be like going out in just like a suit or whatever, he could easily conjure this outfit onto his body with magic. So he has the ability to do a quick change. Now, why he would need to put this on before going into doing hero shit instead of just doing it in a normal suit, I don't know. I know the gloves give him some kind of abilities. The cape gives him abilities, whatnot. So maybe that's why, but I don't know. Iron Man, we all know the deal with that. The powers come from his costume, so that's why he wears it. The Punisher, aside from putting the white skull on the chest and sometimes wearing some white boots, this dude just wears normal tactical military gear, right? Works. That's fine. It fits his backstory and everything. There's a good reason for it. It makes sense. It doesn't seem ridiculous or silly at all. Spawn, we talked about his costume is it's the source of his powers in that it is a sentient demon that's bonded to him. Spider-Man, we talked about him before. He just wears like skin tight spandex, but even though he does not have like unbreakable skin or unbreakable bones or anything like that, he is so fast, his reflexes are so heightened, and his spider sense make him damn near impossible to hit. So that's why he doesn't really need the armor. And then Venom is kind of similar to Spawn. It's just instead of it being a demon that's bonded to him, giving him the powers, it's this alien symbiote. So those are the examples, right? So that's my take on superhero costumes today. Like, there's just way too much. I watched what did I watch? I watched Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1 recently, and during that scene where they're all meeting in like the Monitor's watchtower base, and it's all these DC heroes from all over these different alternate realities, and they're all wearing such flamboyant, colorful, overly designed, busy outfits. Like, I'm just like, why are you wearing that? Like, why? And it was even funnier because then Harbinger abducts this one chick who becomes Dr. Light, and she brings her from her apartment where she was just wearing nothing but her bathrobe. And she's like, I'm in my fucking bathrobe. And Harbinger's like, well, there's this fabricator machine here. Just step into it and it'll generate clothing for you to suit your needs. Right? So it generates this black and white outfit with a flowing white cape and a collar and this almost like Scarlet Witch headpiece kind of thing. And I'm sitting here going, huh, it said that it she said it generated a costume based on your needs. Why why do you need that headpiece and why do you need a cape? And why is it so like aesthetically designed? Why did it make this? Right? Like, and also prior to her stepping into the machine and being given the outfit, she didn't have any powers. Harbinger then gave her powers right after that. So no, the machine did not base the clothing it generated for her on her power set at all. It had nothing to do with that. The outfit came first, then her powers. So she went into this machine. This is what we're expected to believe. She went into this machine. The machine scanned her, and in her head, while it was scanning her, she was like, "Man, I hope I get some really just like black and white with a star symbol and headpiece thing with a flowing cape." Why did that make that for her? Why didn't it just make her like some fucking yoga pants and a hoodie? You know, like, why? Everything I read, watch, or play these days that involves superheroes, I keep coming back to this issue. It's like, why are these superhero costumes the why? Why are they like that? It doesn't seem like there's a reason. The one that really annoys me is classic Blue Beetle. Like, that dude is lame. That dude's lame as fuck. He's a he's a shit character. He's a fucking lame, dorky daylight Batman. Like, I'm a rich guy, and so I made a beetle-shaped plane, and I wear this skin-tight light blue outfit with these big yellow goggles. And for some reason, I also decided that I wanted to have light or what a pair of blue underwear on the outside of my pants that contrasted the color of the rest of my pants, just to accentuate my pelvic region so everyone knows this is where my cock and ass are. And other than that, like, I don't have any powers. I just fucking run around in this blue aircraft, this blue beetle shaped aircraft. Like, why are you wearing that? Why? Why are you wearing that to do hero shit? That's what I want to know. Like, I would be up there on that fucking monitor station just roasting so many of these people. Like, dude, your outfit is trash. What the fuck? Why are you in that? You look lame as fuck. You look flamboyant and lame as fuck. What are you doing? What are you doing right now? It's just weird. It just seems weird to me. The older I get, the more about this shit seems weird. I have sitting here right next to me a toy of Bloodshot from Valiant Comics, right? For those of you who don't know, Bloodshot's whole thing is he was a member of the United States military, and his body got torn to, it's a little bit like a RoboCop slash Wolverine story. Like his body got torn to shreds and all fucked up. So they put these experimental nanobots in his blood, and what these nanobots do is basically make him immortal. They can repair, the nanobots repair his body. They can repair themselves, they can make more of themselves, and they can repair his body from almost any injury. So this dude, what does he go into doing his superhuman heroic shenanigans with? A pair of standard tactical cargo pants, some fucking knee pads, and some combat boots. Oh, and a belt with some pouch, leather belt with some pouches. He doesn't like, this is some bare bones minimum shit. Now, his skin being pale white, whatever, and the red dot on his chest, but my point is this isn't overly stylized. It's rather just kind of basic. And I don't know what it is, but I like that. I don't like I think it would have been lame if this guy had been like, oh, so I'm kind of like a superhuman superhero character now. Great. I'm going to need a skin tight blue, red, and yellow outfit with a white cape. I want a star on my chest. I want some green underwear that I'm going to wear outside of my. Like, all of a sudden, you just start giving all these, like, creative design inputs on what you wear when you do your shit. Just put on some fucking pants and go. What are you doing? Unless you need body armor, want to hide your identity, or it's the source of your powers, like it needs to be one of those things. But just wearing a colorful, cool looking costume for the sake of it is just, it's lame. It's lame in the 21st century. It is. So, yeah. That's my rant on that. That's my rant on superhero costumes these days. Take that for what you will. Let me know what you guys think. Leave some comments down below. Get a discussion started. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you see my point and yet you still for some reason like costumes just for the sake of costumes? Let me know what you guys think in some comments down below. If you like this video, please hit that like button. It helps out my channel. And if you want to help out my channel even more, check out some of my other videos and subscribe. Other than that, I'll talk to you guys later.